Afro Issues.
Hello everyone, it's Afro Issues again, and today we'll be discussing about bride price and community demands. We'll be looking into traditional ideology affecting people from getting married. Okay, talking about traditional ideology on bride price and how this affect people from getting married. Sweet. Should these demands be scrapped?
Well, I am of the opinion that something should be added to it.
Really, why?
Yes, because we wouldn't want to get a wife for free.
How do you mean for free? No.
Yes, because if you're talking about scrapping it,
Yes.
that means people should be getting married for free. So where is the commitment?
I don't agree with the word for free. It's not as if you're not going to pay anything. And
But you
there's
said
no way.
scrap.
Yeah, like all these demands, bring this, sumada, that, and all that. Don't you think it's a lot for people who want to get married or people who doesn't have that kind of money?
Well, I've been privileged to be in a situation like that.
Okay.
All of those things are still subject to negotiation.
Okay.
I don't think I'm speaking from the Igbo part where I come from.
All right.
I don't think it is compulsory that if you don't get all of these things, you're not getting married. They are all subject to negotiation.
Okay.
The places where they say bring 10 cartons of this, 10 cartons of this, 100 tubers of yam, it's not a must. You can negotiate with them.
Okay.
You get your kinsmen to negotiate with their kinsmen. They arrive they reach a compromise and marriage takes place.
Okay.
Yes, so it's not a must. And marriage is not finalized in a day.
So how much do you think someone can actually budget for that? Like,
Well,
because you don't agree with the word scrapping it, but what if you don't have a lot of money? Because I heard something some time ago that someone said if you want to get married, you have to have like 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, and all that. What if you don't have up to that? What if you don't have that kind of money?
all those things are not true.
Okay.
All those things are not true. Culture, by definition, is a way of life of people.
Yeah.
So it depends on the community where you're getting married to. You understand?
Okay.
So they can give you a list. When they give you a list, you check on those lists the things you can afford.
Yeah.
You bring your kinsmen, like I told you before. They negotiate and they reach a compromise. I haven't seen any. I've attended some marriage ceremonies. I haven't seen a place where the person completed everything. I've never seen, even if he's a multi-billionaire. You
Okay.
can't get everything. Where they say 20,000 naira, I've seen where they pay 2,000. They do all those things to make the marriage ceremony interesting. It's not as if it's a must, but some families are strict. No matter how strict they are, you use your bargaining skill.
So how
and
much is
bargain with
how
them.
much is the bride price in your place?
Well, in my place, I don't
Yeah.
think bride price is up to 30,000
Okay.
because in my kindred, we have a particular list they present to suitors.
Okay.
So, but it's not about the bride price. There are some other things that make up the marriage rights, like those rapper, drinks,
Mother,
youth,
youth,
and all those
father-in-law,
things.
and all
Yes,
that.
yes. It's not a must to do all of those things,
Okay.
but you must make commitments. Like I said before, when they say 10 cartons, 100 tubers of yam, you can cut it.
Okay, to one or half.
Yes, depending on what you agree with them.
Okay, I think Ekene has something to say about this.
Anyways, he said based on negotiation.
Yeah.
So, for the suitors, uh, what I think is they can do a negotiation with the bride's parents,
Okay.
and with that they can like reduce the cost because most of them they run away because of
Yeah,
Because
exactly. And
they are
that's the
afraid.
point I'm trying to prove.
they get
Yeah.
scared because of most times it might bring a separation.
Mm-hmm.
The lady might be like, oh, she's losing the guy based on fear of him
Yeah.
paying the money.
Yeah.
So
Listen, sorry,
Okay.
sorry to cut you
You
short.
don't agree with
I
our
don't
point.
agree.
Okay.
Any man, any young man that says
Yeah.
he's running away because of the list is not ready. You're not ready. You're chasing a goal.
But
should
you know
go
all
for it.
fingers are not equal.
Yes, of
All
course I
fingers
know
are not
that.
equal.
Yes.
What if you've been dating for long and you really financially buoyant to do that, but you want to come together as man and wife.
Then,
So,
then you go reason with your father-in-law, would be father-in-law.
okay.
You reason with him, you get the ones you have. Marriage is not complete. My father died at the age of 79. He told me that he was still owing my mother's people. He didn't complete it. It's
Owing
not, yes,
the bride price or what?
not the bride price. So many
Oh.
things on the list that he didn't complete it.
Uh-oh.
Did they prevent him from getting married to my mom?
Okay.
No. So you don't complete it in a day. So any young man that is telling you I'm running away because of the list is not ready. Okay, now when you stop a young lady on the road and he tells you no, does that mean you should go? You should press forward.
Okay.
Devise a means of getting her attention. Do you understand me?
Okay.
But the fact they gave you 2 million naira on the list doesn't mean you should bring the 2 million naira. If you really want the lady, you go for it. If it takes you to kneel down and beg, you beg. If it takes you to devise a skill, you devise. Bring your kinsmen, they negotiate. They will know that you want this thing. The essence of this whole thing is not because they are hungry.
Okay.
It's not because your bride price or whatever that is, they don't see drinks to drink. They don't see yam to eat. It's because they want to see how serious and committed you are towards getting that young lady. So they want you to make a commitment. So when you say scrap, you shouldn't scrap it.
Okay.
Because when you don't pay heavily for something, you won't know the value. Imagine a situation where I pick up a wife on the street and I didn't pay anything. I wouldn't have value for her. I can afford to fling her out at any time.
Okay, let's look into different marriages. You know, people tend to like embrace white wedding more than traditional wedding. And I got to discover that white wedding is not our tradition. But now people want that. People want to do this white wedding stuff, go to church and all that. What do you have to say to this?
Well,
Can people choose the kind of wedding they want to do?
as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
the only marriage I know that is valid is traditional. The white wedding, I don't know where it came from, but I just grew up and I see it practiced in the church. But I've read the Bible. I didn't see anywhere where Jesus Christ presided over a wedding in the temple or in the church.
How about court wedding?
That one is valid as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That one is to validate your civil union.
Okay.
You understand? So, the one I know that God recognizes is the one that happened in the village between your parents and your husband's parents.
Okay.
And it doesn't really mean how much you pay. It's the agreement. You can still tell your would-be in-laws, I don't have money.
Okay.
Or this is the amount I have. They can cover up for you. They want to
Really?
see your... Yes, I've seen it happen.
And they won't mock you after they
Mock you for what?
Like, oh, my son-in-law could not even
Listen,
fit all the
listen.
demands.
every man and every woman wants to live and see their daughters get married.
Of course.
Nobody wants their daughters to grow old in their house. They want to see them get married. So the reason why all these things are put up is because they want to see your commitment. They want you to be committed. If they give you at least 1 million or 2 million, you run away. They will know that this one is not serious.
But why should they give you a list of 1 million or 2 million? To me, I think it's not fair.
How is it not?
Why should they give you a list of like, because there's life after marriage. You know that.
Of course, I know.
Did you go to the village when you married your wife?
Did I go to the village?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Like, did you travel home?
Of course I did.
You did all the expenses and all that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. For me, giving someone 1 million or 2 million is just brutal.
But that doesn't mean you should run away.
Okay.
If you actually know what you want, you go for it. It doesn't. I've told you, I've witnessed marriages, I've witnessed the negotiations. It's not a must.
Okay.
Okay, when they gave me a list, what they gave me on the list, if I should get everything, it should amount to 1.5 million.
But don't you think community leaders should at least revisit these demands to enable their daughters get married on time? Like, if there are some they need to subtract or some they need to remove, I don't know, they should just revisit all these demands to make life easy for their daughters.
Well, I think they should. I don't know about other communities. Talking about my community is the bride price and the marriage rights is is um is um is moderate that anybody can afford.
How much is it? 30,000.
I don't know. It depends on the list and it depends on your negotiation power.
But sorry, the 30,000 does it cover the expenses or just the bride price alone?
No, I'm talking about the bride price.
Okay. Okay, now you have something to say about the 30,000, or you're okay with the fact that it's 30,000, or is it different from your side too?
Yeah, in most cultures they are different. All
Okay.
cultures are different.
Okay.
So we can't say, okay, all cultures are paying the same amount of money
Yeah.
as bride price. So it's based on your choice.
But do you think the elders should revisit the demand to make things a bit easy for the daughters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. At
They
least
should stop the 70 bottles of wine. 100. It's crazy.
yeah, because
Listen, Cyprian,
Yeah.
things are easy. You see those things they post on social media?
Mm-hmm.
10 goats, 200 cartons of.
Yeah.
Look,
No
some
wonder
people have
community.
money. Some people have money and they decided to finish it. And they buy it and snap it and post. That doesn't mean everybody is doing the same thing.
This is why I'm asking if there's a need for them to like revisit it, to remove some things and all that. It's because those things are still in the list. That's why people, the people that can afford it, are able to afford it and post it, and they all think everybody's like that.
You don't marry from afar.
Okay.
If you see those lists, go to the parents' house, demand for the list.
Okay.
When you demand for the list and you see it, and it's way too much for you, bring your kids.
Short break. Before we go on a short break, if you're to repay your white bride price, will you reduce it or you add to it? But before you answer that question, when we come back, you answer the question.
All right.
This is Afro Issues.
Welcome back. We're still on bride price and traditional demands. Sweet, if you're to repay your white bride price at the moment, will you increase it or reduce it?
Well, I love this question.
Okay.
Look, recently, I told my wife
Yeah.
that I wish I can marry you again.
That's sweet.
That's because I think the money I paid before does not match the value I have for you.
Whoa.
I wish I had proposed, I had the money to propose to you with a G-Wagon. So if I'm to repay the bride price, I would love to do it 10 times more.
Wow. That's sweet.
Yes.
Okay, you know, most people are discouraged from getting married from a particular place due to traditional demands. So how do you encourage them?
Well, if you want something,
Yeah.
you go for it. You can't conclude based on what you hear from people until you get there.
What if you get there and you get to discover, the rumor I've been hearing about this thing is actually true. So how do you expect the person to go further?
You keep negotiating. If after the negotiation and it doesn't work, man, you love her, right?
Yeah. Take your wife and
elope with her.
Whoa!
Yeah. So when you elope with her, the parents will call you, oh yeah, come, let's bargain. Let's renegotiate. You understand me? So,
I'm sure nobody wants to do that.
who told you?
You will not want to run away with your wife. You should
If I'm in that
perform all the
condition.
rights. All the rights. But the ones you can afford. Okay, do you have anything to say about it?
I test that about that.
It's okay.
Like have to perform all rights before taking your wife, because I don't think it's actually right taking a wife without not paying
Yeah.
the bride price
It's
or putting something down like, yes, you want to marry her. So I think, and not even I think, it's actually right for you to like pay something
Okay.
to know that yes, your intention to marry her is really true and you want to marry her.
You know, there are some parts in Nigeria that even if you get pregnant and at the end of the day you don't get to pay the bride price, the children will not bear the man's surname. I know that. So you're talking about eloping with the girl and all that.
No, no, no. When I said elope
Okay.
with her, I don't mean it. I was actually joking.
Oh, okay.
But listen, there's no father or mother that doesn't want their child to get married. If they see your commitment and your seriousness, if a parent or parents scare you with bride price or marriage rights and you run away and never come back, that means you are not accepted. If they accept you, if you are accepted, they will take whatever that comes from you.
Okay.
Because I believe in a community, the father of the child, of the girl in question, has the final say.
All right.
Because the community will still go back to him. Because I told you I have this experience. They will still go back to him. This is what these people are saying. Should we collect or should we not? You say, please, they must complete it. Then they will go back and tell you must complete. But if they say, accept whatever they have, they
But
have no
me,
option.
I think it's not fair because if the whole community has a say on the bride price and the demand and all that, and I'm very sure when the child was growing up, they never contributed anything.
Don't say that they did. In
How-
one way or the
how-
other.
how-
Indirectly,
Okay.
they did. Indirectly,
How?
they did.
How?
It's not until you contribute financially to
But
someone.
they're demanding something financially when it comes to
Yes.
bride price.
Yes, it's not financial. Everything is not financial.
Okay.
Like what you asked, everybody in the community contributed one way or the other to the upbringing of that.
What if you
particular
did
child.
not grow up in that community?
It doesn't matter. You belong to them.
So you have to go back and give
Yes.
them their demands and
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's an age-long tradition, and you mustn't be the one to destroy it.
all. Back to negotiation.
Yeah.
You know, there are some parts that demand, okay, you have to fulfill this right, this demand. You're not going to remove anything, we're not going to subtract anything. You have to give us our demand. What if you can't make up to the demand?
Well, in that case,
Yeah.
it depends on the relationship you have with your father-in-law. You go to him. Like I said before, he's the one that has the final say.
Okay.
He can decide to give the daughter out without anybody's consent. It happens. Yes.
Okay.
In my village, we have a village list. My kindred had to carve out their own list
Why?
because the village list is too complex.
Wow.
So they had to carve out, this is what we want. Even at that, my father has the final say and said, I still don't want this. Reduce it or increase it.
Okay.
So it depends on the relationship you have with your father-in-law. So you meet with him. If only you want this girl, you do everything. If it takes you to kneel down and beg, if it takes you to cry, if it takes you to do anything to make sure he gets your approval.
Or can't one just go to court, forget about all this tradition and all that? Just go to court with your man or your woman, do whatever you need to do.
No.
And then,
We are talking about tradition.
okay.
We are talking about tradition here. And that is the marriage I think God recognizes. You can't just pick someone's daughter because you are in love with her, you go to court. I've not been to court wedding before, I don't know, but I think they should get a consent from tradition too before they can wed you. I think, but I don't know.
Okay.
I think it happens that way. So you can't just pick, okay, if you have a daughter and someone just picks your daughter from somewhere and go to court and wed, would you be happy? Is that the way you were
I'll
married?
shoot the person.
You do what? You shoot the
Don't
person,
mind
right?
me. Don't mind me.
So if it is not good for you, don't do it for someone.
Okay, finally, before we leave, Ekene, what do you have to say to people who want to get married and this tradition, whatever community demand is really affecting them from taking this step forward? What do you have to say to them?
As for me, prefer as a suitor who wants to get married to a girl, a lady, and you know you're really ready and prepared what you want.
Okay.
And when you want it, you have to fight for it.
Okay. Just fight for it. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, you need to fight for it.
Yeah,
Alright.
I support her opinion.
Okay.
Any young man that tells you that the reason why I'm not married is because of the marriage list or whatever is not ready.
Okay.
If you want it, go for it.
Yeah.
Bargain, negotiate. Build a relationship between you and the family.
Okay.
You get what you want. But if you don't want, there's no need to sweat over it.
Alright, so we've all heard this. Don't be scared. Fight for your rights. If you're ready to get married and you have you're financially buoyant to do that, just go ahead and get married. Don't listen to what people have to say or anything, the discouragement from every other person, but just do your thing. You get, and form a good relationship with your in-laws to make things easy. We've come to the end of today's beautiful show. See you same time next week. I remain your host, Cyprian John.